Valeria Jimenez, and I'm going to present the different scenarios for the project management evidence. And well, for scenario 1, I believe that when a work team has this type of problem is due to a lack of communication between them. It is likely that there is a wide variety of ideas which may not be entirely aligned with the purpose or the expected result of the project. Since there is no alignment in the goals that are intended to be obtained, progress in the project stops and it is difficult to focus on a single goal as a team. It is evident that the lack of communication is the area of opportunity in which they have to work, because there is no line of interaction that allows everyone to express themselves in order to create a successful work plan. Many impediments are generated and the expected results are delayed or deteriorated. And well, the second question is, what actions will you take to solve this situation? And I think that the way in which a team is organized determines the success of a company. To obtain results, it is the utmost importance that the communication between the members is effective and clear, since this allows us to optimize processes and obtain the desired results. And in this case, it will be very valuable to establish the roles of each individual and thus create a climate of concentration in the office. This can be achieved by defining at least 2 meetings per week with all the staff in which everyone can express their opinions on the progress that has been made on the last week, and thus receive feedback on the goals to be achieved. The roles of each individual must be specifically established and approved so that there is no confusion. This will be of great help for individual progress as a team. It is also important that there is a personal growth in each one of the members of the company, which is why I consider that the directors of each area should be in charge of analyzing the workload of each member and defining if their progress is improving in order to implement innovative actions and encourage members to leave their comfort zone as they increase their knowledge of the company. This is why a company must have a hierarchy to create mutual support. And well, the third question is, how would the project be affected if the WBS is not well defined? And well, the WBS is an extremely useful tool when planning the project, and its usefulness is not limited only to planning but continues during the different stages, allowing a more realistic development of the budget and costs when considering the entire scope of the project. This tool helps companies to manage a project and in the same way to determine the operation of the project and the scope that is sought to be obtained. It helps to improve the internal processes of the company and the roles of each individual within the company. For this reason, by not defining the roles of each individual, there will be a miscommunication in the work team, which would lead to poor performance and little efficiency towards individual goals and as a company. And well, in the second scenario, the first question is, what should you do as a project manager in this situation? And well, I consider that a project charter is a document that contains all the key information related to a project with the aim that the essence of the project is agreed upon and synthesized in a document. The project charter supposes a formal establishment of the existence of and the development of a project. This document grants the authority to allocate the resources of the organization to the activities necessary to be carried out successfully. In this case, I believe that the project manager could refute the project, since there is an official document that supports the exact time in which the project was planned to be carried out. If this is not possible, the stakeholder would be required to pay additionally for this inconvenience, and in this way be able to hire more personnel and specifically to carry out this work and be able to deliver it in 3 weeks. In the same way, I would pay overtime to existing employees and negotiate with them if the vacations they planned to take in order to establish if it's a viable option or not. I would re-establish the terms with the stakeholder about the scopes and the results that they want, because having less time, the processes have to be streamlined, preventing the same benefits from being obtained. As a manager, I would have to create a new budget plan with the stakeholder and employees in order for this to work. As mentioned before, a project charter is extremely important for this type of situations since it shows what the objectives of the project are and what will be delivered in due time and form. When this document is signed by both the project manager and the stakeholder, it is established that it is clear when and how the project will be delivered. In the same way, a WBS helps us manage the company internally since it establishes the roles of each individual depending on the position they have and the skills they have. Therefore, I consider it extremely important to take these tools into account in order to have a clear communication with both the employees and the stakeholders. And well, for the third scenario, the question is, what actions would you take for the company to address that kind of objective that includes all stakeholder interest? And it is very important to know the needs of the stakeholder before generating a project, which is why having this information prior to project planning is critical, since it will help carry out a detailed market analysis and know who the user persona is. In the same way, it helps to know the range in which you want to work and the scope that the project will have. And well, when carrying out market analysis, we can know which are the interest groups to which the project is directed and know what type of actions can be taken into account to successfully meet the objective that the stakeholder seeks, with the intention of guiding that the project can generate methods and strategies that meet what the interest groups demand, generating the desired impact for the partner. And well, the question for the fourth scenario is, explain what actions you should take to avoid a negative impact on the markup of the project. And well, when having the financial statement and balance sheets, it will be a matter of analyzing whether they may be a capital reduction and being able to work optimizing this capital for a couple of months and redesign the business model during this time to make this work. It is essential to know the availability of the resources, both from the stakeholder and from the team itself. This will help to be able to choose the best proposal for the partner depending on the resources. In the fifth scenario, the question is, what differences and risks do you identify in the characteristics of both processes? And well, as in all companies, there are different areas in which there are different work teams and they have different roles depending on their position and their skills. In the same way, this happens when choosing a new supplier or developing a new product, which is why everything is connected. For example, the management of new ideas or projects are entrusted to the marketing area since they generate innovation and creation of ideas, while those in charge of finding new suppliers are the purchasing area and the legal part. The search process for new suppliers is an action that has to have a strict planning and must follow a series of rules and steps in order to keep track of new or potential suppliers. Regarding the development of new products, there is more flexibility. It is a process that is sometimes not linear and that can change over time. When talking about the risks, we can know that there is a risk that suppliers do not comply with the specifications that were previously signed, and this can generate setbacks when developing a project. In the development of new products, there might be problems regarding the quality at the time of the publishing the products. This means that the established expectations were not met. Something that these two factors have in common is that both could run the risk of unexpected changes in prices. Since being external elements, it is unpredictable to calculate if there will be changes in costs. On the part of the suppliers, one of the biggest challenges they face is choosing the best option, that is, getting the correct quantity and quality in the market. And regarding the development of new products, the main challenge is to know which is the target public and knowing how to find it depending on their needs and the distribution channel that they seek to serve.